Tough week of SuperCoach, this one. Injuries, rookies hitting the wall. We can't catch a break these days. 2,235 isn't a bad score. Moved up very slightly into the top 6k. But I did a bit of planning ahead, and the decisions I went with did not go my way. If I made the right call, I'd be over 2,300 this week and definitely a much better ranking. Just another bad 50-50 decision for me. The amount of points that I've lost each week to this point has proven really costly. So it's hurt. But anyway, let's move on to the team. So obviously with Jones getting injured, I had to slightly alter the trades. The first one I did was Clark to McCreary, and then I had a choice to make with my second trade. I was so tempted to go Goulden to Walsh. Had around 272k in the bank, so that would have left me with like 19k. I was very close to pulling the trigger. I had a couple different scenarios in mind. I did the math, and when I found out I could still possibly bring in Walsh and Neil without having to give up Goulden, I settled with plan A, and it proved very, very, very costly. Neil got hurt, Goulden absolutely stunk it up, and here we are. Lost 92 points, Goulden went down in price, missed out on a 2300 score. It's pain, real pain. So my second trade ended up being Berry to McRae. Went early on McRae, and now I have 359k in the bank. I'll keep it short and sweet with the team. Got a lot to think about in trades. Lloyd's, Jordan, Laird, all good. Short, disappointing. Efficiency wasn't good. Got a lot of his touches when the game was pretty much over. Chapman disappointing as well. Ruins the cash gen. Break even up to a 68. Cozzy kicked the bag. 5 goals and could have been more. Had a few chances that he squandered. But great to see him ton. And that cash gen is going to be really good. The Saints aren't getting any better at all. So please bring back Highmore. We need that cash gen from him. McRae is on another level right now. Petrarca was fantastic. Won the medal for best on ground. Could have gone to Salem, but nonetheless, great to see Petrarca at his best. Oliver was great. Dusty's 250th was a night to forget. Got poked in the eye, came back on, got concussed, ruled out of the game. Won't play against the Dogs. Since that 120, the first week I had him, it's been very underwhelming. Powell is a gun. Goulden, already spoken about it. Very disappointed in myself not trading him to Walsh. Worst score of the season. Went down in price. Like I said before, just pain. Jordan was great again. Gonna see some great cash gen from him. Looped Scott 66 there on the bench. He was very good up forward. And McRae, Finn McRae, just the 37. Hopefully with Collingwood struggling, he continues to get games. The two set and forgets just doing what they do. Nothing more to say, they're just so good. Flynn on the bench, good to see him back. Good to see that cash gen up to 273k now. Will be nice to downgrade him very soon. Dunkley is a real heart crusher. He's had such a good start to the season, and to see him out long term, just painful. Zeeble has well and truly become the ultimate seagull. To say he's exceeded expectations is honestly an understatement. He has done that and so much more, and he's really become a genuine vice captain or captain option, as crazy as it sounds. Impey was good again. Warner did his thing. Break even still a little bit high, but we can hold him. Definitely reliable on field, especially with the rest of the forward group. Rowe just seems to struggle away from home. Hopefully he can keep his spot and bounce back against the Giants at home. McCreary kicked 3 goals, but just couldn't find enough of the footy, so hopefully against the Suns he can find more of it. And on the bench, Jones doing what he's done all season really. Barely went up in price this week. So essentially he's just on the bench to be on the bench. I guess we can always hope for a miracle and he can kick a bag, but right now he's just there. And Waterman getting dropped, very disappointing. After hearing Ben Rutten say he was an important part of the 22, that was real positive signs that his spot in the side would be relatively safe, and instead he's been dropped after 1 price rise. So we've got some big decisions to make now in trades. The first one, there's no doubt in my mind who I'm bringing in. I wanted to bring him in last week. Pains me that I didn't get his 130, but Sam Walsh, he's in this week. I think I didn't mention him in my trade targets last week, but he is one that I forgot to mention. And it's a real shame that I picked the wrong Carlton mid in my starting side. My second trade, in the screenshot earlier when I was talking about my wrong 50-50 call, it was supposed to be Harry Jones out, and doing this does actually get me enough for Zach Merritt. If I do this, I have exactly 200 bucks left. So I could easily do this. Dunkley and Jones to Walsh and Merritt, and maybe keeping Goulden pays off. But with the uncertainty surrounding a lot of rookies, we don't know where we're getting all our cash gen from. We've got a few reliable ones, but a lot of them are not playing or just really slow burns, or Harry Jones level of slow burn. So as great as bringing in Walsh and Merritt is, I don't think I'm going to go that direction. Plus, it would be great to get rid of Harry Jones, but he's done so little, only up to 174k. Is there any point trading him out? I might as well just hope for a miracle that he kicks a bag and gets me a 60 or a 70. All I can do is hope. But at 174k, he's barely made anything. There's probably no point trading him out. So instead, I probably go Goulden out. Like all the moves that I'm making this week, it's just a real kick in the guts. It's a harsh reminder that I could have traded Goulden to Walsh, and a harsh reminder that I missed out on 92 points. But if I want to be able to make an upgrade next week, I'll probably go Goulden to... there he is, Andrew Brayshaw. Bargain price. He was one of my trade-in targets. I think he'll be okay in terms of taggers. I don't think Freo come up against any in the short term. So I think he'll be fine. When he hasn't been getting tagged, he's played well. So I don't mind this. It leaves me with 242k in the bank, and that should be enough for another upgrade next round. Could be Chapman down to Frederick, and then Rowe up to a premium. I'll move Dusty back into the forward line and bring in another mid maybe, or I could go to Houston move Laird into the midfield. I'll think about that one. Let's see if there's any mid targets, because if Rowe doesn't go up much, I don't know what his break even is at the moment, but let's say he only goes up to like 235k. Chapman, say he stays around the mark, maybe goes to 270 or even drops. We'll do it as a worst case scenario thing, and he drops because his break even's up to a 68, and we don't know for sure if he's going to beat that. So let's say he goes to like 265. Frederick is 123,900. I planned this out earlier, so I get around 141, 100 if Chapman dropped to 265. So that would be 283. 283k to work with, or 383, my bad, if I went Chapman down to Frederick next week, and that would mean Rowe, let's say he goes to like 235. 383 plus 235 should be enough for any good mid. So let's see who we got. I think I could get anyone besides Steele, and honestly Steele is the one that I want to get, so that's a shame. And Goulden to Walsh, I just lost about 20k there as well, so I probably could have gotten Steele. Gee, everything is a kick to the guts, isn't it? I've had a lot of regrettable moves in previous SuperCoach seasons, so this isn't anything new, but man, it's painful. So we'll see what happens. Dunkley to Walsh is a sure thing. Brayshaw will most likely be the second premium I bring in. Who I trade out, I'm not 100% sure, but I think these two trades will be the ones I settle with. So at this stage, this is how the team will look. Actually, let's just sort everything out first. Dusty won't play, so he goes to the bench. Oh dear, that means I have to field Finlay McRae. That's going to be a little iffy. Or I could go Sharp into defense for Laird. Yeah, it doesn't help I traded out Bergman to Chapman instead of Sharp, but this is the one time his defender mid DPP will come in handy if I do decide I want to field Cozzy instead. But then the forward line, there's a number of questions here. Just gotta hope that these guys keep their spots. If not, I'd have to field Jones, and I don't know if his spot's safe either. So a lot of question marks here in the forward line. Not good. And also Zeeble copped a knock. Haven't heard anything on him yet, so hopefully he's fine. And then there's also the possibility of the North Melbourne game not being played because of the whole North ISO thing. I know the article said that North have to ISO besides training and playing, but I'm pretty sure there's also news that the AFL will think about it and decide whether the game goes on or not. So a lot of question marks surrounding this week. We just can't catch a break. There's always something going on in SuperCoach. Vice captain, I'm just going to go McRae, Vice, Gawn, captain, and it's a high chance that McRae will have a great VC score. I'll take that, and Gawn beats it. We say this every week, but hopefully Highmore comes back. Please, please just bring him back in. But overall, the team's not looking bad. Next week, like I said, in trades, the plan would be Rowe out to another premium. So we're not in a bad spot. We just gotta hope that some of these guys return, get some cash flow going. Flynn down to a Combin, that will be good for cash. So we're not in the worst spot. Obviously not going golden to Walsh set me back point wise, but we're not in the worst position. We'll be fine, just keep trading, hopefully the cash flow keeps coming, and yeah, I think we'll be okay. So that's gonna do it. Hopefully you guys avoided as much carnage as possible. It's gonna be a tough week ahead, but we'll all get through it. So yeah, that's gonna do it. See you guys in the next video.